Well, listen, I've tried the bologna sandwich, and I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, very careful. I mean, be very careful with the bologna sandwich. Be sure that you're equipped. Rolaids. Oh, no. Breath mint.
Good morning. And here we are at the 26th annual Gilroy Garlic Festival.
Wow.
And with me today, I'm Judy.
I'm Debbie.
That's my sister Debbie. I think you've seen us a few times on
CMAP.
numerous different cooking shows. We're in what they call the Sponsors Hospitality area, which we cooked at yesterday.
Big fun.
Big fun, really. I mean, this is where people like my sister and I get to put our hands into it and be a little bit creative.
We have fun. We had a great time.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time.
It was a great experience, and we worked with some wonderful people
and
yesterday.
we want to introduce them to you. So if you'll come over
Come
here,
and
come with us, follow my fingers. Okay, go ahead, Deb.
Hi, and this is Lana Martinez. She is the chairman of the Sponsor Hospitality. How's everything going?
Very well. We had a great first day, and we're anticipating a great second day.
Is it more people, you think, yesterday for the first day than you had anticipated?
It was about the same as the last few years that I've worked in this area. Saturday's usually our big day, so we expect a big crowd today.
Oh, big prep time. Big prep time. And you want to introduce Valerie?
And this is Valerie
Marinovich.
Marinovich. And Valerie, you're the assistant chairman for the Sponsor Hospitality Group. And
First year.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been volunteering a lot in the Garlic Festival, and when Lana approached me to really take an more active role, to be a shirt, as we're called, I said, well, why not take some responsibility? And so far, it's been fabulous. I'm having a ball.
Well, you guys have you've made it really special for us. I know yesterday we had a wonderful time here, and
This is the best place.
Yeah.
This is the best place to be.
This is the best place to work. It really is. And we have the most awesome volunteer crew.
And we honestly agree. This
area
is the most fun to work because this is where you get your fingers into the butter.
We did.
We had
a great experience yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was
Can we
great.
give a plug for your New Orleans shrimp now?
Oh, you guys.
So good.
It was
Okay,
awesome.
They hit yesterday
Okay,
in
I
our
have to
area.
show you. Here it is. Here's the bag.
Oh.
There's the seasoning.
This is the bag of the
secret
secret sauce. We're gonna whip some of these up later. But let's take can we get around the back here? And let's travel around the back.
Shall we interview our fearless leader over here?
Okay, now we're in the back with Nancy Myers, and I'd probably have to say, Nancy, you're probably the head chef of the specialty of the hospitality sponsors there. Executive chef. So, what do we have here?
This is the meat for the the pepper steak sandwiches, and we're just about putting it in the grills, and it's got garlic, lots of garlic, and red pepper and black pepper, and then we just cook it for about an hour and a half and slice it up and put the peppers and the onions and make the sandwiches.
So it's really actually a pretty easy recipe then.
It's a very easy
So this is something that people could duplicate at home,
Yes.
pretty much.
Oh yeah, I mean, this looks like doesn't this look like a sirloin?
It is a sirloin.
This is a sirloin, so just a sirloin roast.
And we just
It's like what you make. That was what they cut sirloin steaks out of. So it's not a tied sirloin. A lot of times you see the sirloin in the store. This is the sirloin roast, which is something that's tender enough that you could just roast to rare and just slice for a sandwich.
We cook it to about 130, and then it will sit for a while. It will keep cooking, and then, as Debbie knows, as she sliced it all yesterday, it's just a perfect temperature, perfect cooked
Right, well,
piece of meat.
How long would you let it rest, say, after bringing it up to 130 degrees?
I would say 15, 20 minutes, and let it just sit, and it will keep cooking. It might, if you cut it at that point, it might look too rare in the middle, but it will keep cooking.
Yeah, because those are pretty big hunks of meat. What are those, about 8 pounds each or so? It looks 7, 8 pounds each. So that takes time for that, and then the juices go back in. Right. Now I noticed the one thing, and people think this, you don't put salt on this. This is basically red pepper flakes, garlic, and pepper. No salt, and because the salt actually will draw the moisture out of the meat. So what we've done is you saute that. Debbie, you want to pick up those peppers? Okay, this is the peppers and the onions and stuff that we saute that go on the sandwich. And what we did was we actually put the salt on the peppers and the onions.
Right, and then you can whoever's eating it can salt it to their taste.
Yeah.
But there's an advantage to not salting it, by leaching it out. And then the other advantage is letting the meat rest. Right, Nancy?
Definitely, the meat. As you said, the juices come back in, and it keeps it evenly moist throughout the whole roast.
Well, we had so much fun here. We're going to be back. We're going to do some Cajun shrimp.
Some calamari.
Calamari and stuff. So we're going to let you get yourself together.
Okay.
And we'll be back in maybe about an hour.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Nancy.
You. Hi, and here we are at the Festival Fried Garlic Bologna Sandwiches. And I have with me Mr. Gene Sakahara. So, how did it all come about?
Well, the idea came when one Sunday morning I was watching CBS Sunday Morning, and Sam saw it on Food Network. They were featuring this restaurant in Waldo, Ohio, famous for their fried garlic bologna sandwich. People from all over the East Coast go to this restaurant. So we did a little research, contacted the owners, and I asked them if they'd come out for This Ain't No Bologna contest. And because I said we make a pretty good garlic bologna sandwich too. And their bologna must be made out of chicken because they decline.
Oh,
chicken! I get it.
Isn't there something with Dave Letterman's?
Dave Letterman's mom is famous too.
Yeah, does that. Well, you know something? I always ate fried bologna when we were kids.
She makes a famous fried bologna sandwich.
We made fried bologna, and then we'd float an egg in it.
Oh, see,
it makes that little bowl, and then you put the egg in it.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So but basically, bologna is basically a flat hot dog in reality.
Exactly.
It really is.
But people ate it as childhood. That's a surprising thing. I thought that I'd get more of a reaction of fried bologna.
Oh no!
People are saying, this takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
And they've all tried it. Like that's a different way. I used to fix it with fried rice.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, there you have it.
Yeah, so different variations. And so from that idea, we took it, and I developed this as a young child, a protege of 11 years old, watching Henry Tannenbaum and Carol on TV.
Henry, right. Yeah. Henry, come on down.
Come on.
Come on, Henry. Come on, Henry.
And so then I started experimenting, bologna with potato chips, bologna with fried rice.
You gotta have that crunch.
Henry.
Yeah.
You're making this whole thing.
No.
And speaking of bologna.
And here, Mr. Henry Tannenbaum.
Hi. So listen, I've tried the bologna sandwich, and I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, be very careful. I mean, be very careful with the bologna sandwich. Be sure that you're equipped. Rolaids.
Oh,
Breath mint.
No,
it's actually delicious. It's a fabulous bologna.
Thank you.
sandwich.
Thank you.
I was
Thank
just
you.
coming over to thank you for doing a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
And where's your bozo partner?
He's at the Chicken Stir Fry on Gourmet Alley.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Henry.
Thank you.
So as a child, I just did it so many different ways, and then I saw that feature. Sam and I both saw I saw the CBS Sunday Morning. He saw the Food Network. I invited Al Roker, but never got a response. So we said, we're just going to go with it. And I started fixing it for the Garlic Festival leadership, and they were all liking it. So from that point, we said, well, let's use it as a novel idea to get the publicity, just as another draw. But it has turned into more than that. People are loving it.
Yeah.
And so we're
not so novel, is it?
So the reaction is, one is, boy, I just wanted to try it because it got so much, and then, ooh, this is good.
Well, you know what we need to put with it? Don't you remember when we were kids? You drank the milk through the straws, the flavor straws.
Yeah. Where are you going with this?
So we got fried bologna sandwiches, and then we need to get
straws.
flavored straws, and We just start like
And
this
fizzies.
whole and fizzies start this whole nostalgic
nostalgia.
type of,
Okay. Oh yeah.
really,
yeah.
because it's our age that are wanting to sit down and kind of go back a little bit
Yeah.
with the world the way it is and stuff. You need a little comfort zone,
Well-
and this is like the perfect place. You got your family here.
Yeah.
You're in the comfort
music,
zone.
entertainment, 50s music.
Yeah, so you
children's
provide
area.
the foods and stuff
Yeah.
of the comfort zone, and you're starting with the bologna.
Yeah.
So let's take us over here.
Okay.
Show us how it's
And show
done.
us how it's
Well,
done.
we have Mark Carrillo, who works for the school district at Sodexo Marriott.
Can you
And
hear?
then Matthew.
Okay, we're moving over here.
Rosa, who is manager of the theater, so he lets me into the movies anytime I want. No, he doesn't. But okay, so we have, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get this close up. This is specially made from San Francisco, Evergood Sausage Company. I didn't want just plain bologna, and because they infuse it with
Nitrates and all the
granulated garlic. I said, no, this is the premier garlic festival. So they take Christopher garlic and they chop it up and they
Ooh.
really blend it
So
together.
it's really,
It's
really
real
garlic
garlic,
bologna.
Oh, real,
garlic, and
real.
it's only made for us. So then Mark puts it on the grill, and he has to get that nice brown caramelization. I almost fired him.
Mark,
after
hold
second
one up
batch.
there for us, so he can see what we're talking about. Can you see
Okay,
that over
so
there?
explain to me why it has these slits in it. Can you tell me why those slits are in it? Does it come that way?
We've all fried bologna before, and we know that it'll bubble up on it. So we want a nice,
Yeah, it makes that-
even product
that
and nice,
bowl.
evenly brown.
So it keeps it from cupping, basically.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Then Matthew is toasting the Kaiser bun. So, I just put a couple on it. So,
Can you see? Can you
Can
see
you
out
hear
there? Oh, put the mic on him.
so just
Here we go.
now,
We need
of
some
course,
sound.
if you don't have a flat top like this at home, this is
Yeah.
then you use your toaster.
Then you use your
And
toaster.
then you don't you do your bologna in the on a frying pan, and this is thick. You notice.
Yeah.
So you know, just like you, I'm sure, 2 or 3 slices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you just. I mean,
Yeah,
you just fry it up, whatever
you
it
get
takes.
creative. People think they couldn't get creative with bologna, but you can, because we're just full of bologna.
Yeah. So then what do you put with
That's
it?
Yeah.
the next phase. Now, of course, we are very compliant with the health department here.
Oh, I
So
have
once
no doubt.
we put it in there, then let's come in. We got to come into.
Can
the,
you come in? Can you bring it in?
Okay, are we
He's
moving?
moving. He's moving. Okay.
Here.
Yeah,
Hi,
we gotta
everyone.
assemble one. Okay, this is our assembly crew here. So.
Okay,
You wanna
so we're
introduce
making the
yourself?
sandwiches.
You have Janice Pomeroy from Peroy, sorry, from Gilroy High Band. You're working for the band. Nicole Chazon, who's working for HR department. You know, the hours go for charitable. We even have the superintendent of schools, Edwin Diaz, making sandwiches here. So, Cappy Capwell, a grandfather who no longer has kids in the school system, but he just can't get enough bologna, so he drives up from Southern California. Nancy Kawamoto, who is a retired teacher. So this is our assembly crew. So you take the bun and then the bologna, put it on there. Okay, go ahead and show them.
Okay. So then you put on the ketchup. And then the bologna. Onions, however much you want, really.
A whole lot of everybody likes
More onions?
Yeah.
Oh, do we get to taste this one?
Absolutely.
If you want to.
Woo!
And some mayonnaise on top.
Uh-huh.
Then slice it up.
Slice it.
Let's just put it on a napkin for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy, a couple napkins.
Bari olive oil. Did you notice that's very good olive oil? Did you try that olive oil?
Oh
Bari?
yeah.
No,
Excellent.
yeah.
Judy, go ahead.
So show
Alright,
Judy
Dana,
eating
please.
that sample there. Want me to? Yeah, let's
here
get
we go.
let's get the reaction from
Okay,
Judy.
we ready?
All right.
If they want bologna cheese.
Okay. I'm back to childhood. What can I say? This is comfort food.
Have
it?
you ever
This is-
laughed?
That's my sister, and I'm the older sister. Everybody should eat a bologna sandwich.
Fried bologna.
Everybody. We're going for the total bologna. Okay? The
And
whole
that's
show.
no bologna.
And that's no bologna. Thank you, Gene.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
And this is a keeper.
Okay, well.
Thank you, everybody, for your
Thank you, everybody.
for your expert assembly.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay.
Hi, here we are again at the Sponsors Hospitality booth at the Gilroy Garlic Festival. And I'm here with Nancy Myers, who is basically the head executive chef here, has been for about 4 years. We did a segment with you earlier.
Yes,
Yes, and here we are with Judy Samuel Keys, who is doing the Chef's Choice dish today that is going to be offered to the sponsors. Judy, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing today?
It's a New Orleans Cajun garlic shrimp. So we started off with some olive oil and some butter, and now let's turn this heat down a little bit. And we're going to throw some more garlic in there.
We always have to have more garlic because this is the Gilroy Garlic Festival. There we go. So, can you have too much garlic?
You never. But you can burn garlic, and then you had too much. So you have to be a little careful.
Then a little is too much,
Then
right?
a little is too much. So first we got that. Now we got the secret seasoning pack.
So basically, Judy, you're showing us how to build this dish, right?
Yeah, this is a combination of many spices. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to toast the spices, which makes, I think that when you start cooking with spices and you have butter and olive oil, get them going. Get them going.
So give them a chance to bloom somewhat so that the flavor mellows and the oils are released.
I mean, get it going. You got a lot of stuff in here.
So what do you think about this? We actually did try this yesterday.
It was incredible.
And what was the response?
The response was excellent. It's a nice counterpoint. We have the garlic shrimp, the scampi, and this Cajun shrimp were nice counterpoints. This is very spicy, lots of garlic, and so this is for people that like that real bite.
Yeah, but did you find that it wasn't particularly impossible hot, spicy?
No, it was a good hot. It wasn't a make you hiccup hot.
Right, and I think part of that comes from letting the herbs bloom somewhat in the oil, and it somewhat, I think, mellows them. What do you think?
It definitely does, and it mellows the garlic when you cook it a little bit slowly. You don't want to burn it because it gets bitter, and this is just a wonderful dish.
Now we're going to put a little wine in because I don't have some Tabasco, and so we're just going to use the wine, which is fine. It just gives it a little bit of a liquid. So we're going to let that cook off. You need to let your wine cook off.
So that this would be then, if we were in New Orleans, you would definitely be using Tabasco, but since we're in wine country, we're using wine.
Yeah. And it just, see now you can see, can you see that? Get that, Larry? See, you can tell. These spices are now cooked. They're not just sitting in there raw. You've actually created a base for the shrimp.
And you know what? One thing I loved about this is the thickness that occurs with the with everything that's put into this sauce.
It does. It thickens up nicely, and it gets a really deep red color to it. It's just a beautiful color, and when you add the shrimp, it's just magnificent.
Okay, here we are. So you've just added this raw shrimp.
Raw shrimp.
Peeled and deveined, tail on.
You know, actually, you can use shell on with this, which works fine. Shell on.
And that's kind of a fun, in your up to your elbow kind of get into your food thing.
And then we're going to turn this heat up.
So what? So now you're turning the heat back up again. What's the reason for that?
Well, you want it to start getting going, the shrimp and stuff.
Okay. I think that there's a lot of people here that are going to be very anxious to try this. The court has arrived. The garlic court. So about how long does this take to cook, Judy?
Well, these are healthy shrimp. I mean, these are really healthy shrimp. I mean, I'd say, well, what's the, you don't want to overcook shrimp because they get tough. So as soon as they begin to get pink and they curl,
So once they become opaque and start to curl, and the other thing too that I've from my experience in cooking, particularly seafood, is, and with any protein, they continue to cook.
Oh, yeah.
So once you've taken them off the heat, remember the heat still remains, and so they will continue to cook, and you don't want to overcook them. What's your thought on that, Nancy?
You just want them just barely pink. You don't want any touch of gray on them, and just then they will continue to cook.
And then they stay tender when you're serving them at the plate.
Right. If you spend this much money for shrimp, you don't want rubber shrimp.
I agree. I totally agree, because I think that's what happens sometimes. Is you think that you're taking them to a certain point, but you forget that they continue to cook because of the heat that remains within them.
And then you've
Oh, okay.
And then you've got the butter. You've got a butter and olive oil, and that's real hot, and so that's really causing the. You're not really frying them, but in a way, that oil in there, you're really sautéing them at a real high heat, and that's really, I don't know. I like to cook shrimp at a high heat, don't you? I mean,
I do. I would say if you're not a seasoned home chef, I think that it's always best to start at a medium temperature and just be careful not to go too high, because if they're burned, then they're spoiled.
Yeah.
You can always adjust and turn the heat up.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to cool a pan down.
Oh yeah, definitely. So these are coming along. You can see where some of them they're beginning to. You see this?
They start to curl, and you can see the tails are getting very pink, that very pretty pink color.
Now, if all the shells were on, as soon as the shells actually get all pink and looks cool, and actually I eat the shell and all.
Well, if you have extremely fresh shrimp, then that's not a bad thing. Tails too?
Tails, the whole thing.
That's a good calcium going on.
Actually, if you're going to peel them because you don't want the shells, what you do is take the peels and put them in water with some with seasoning. Take some of the Cajun seasoning from this, and you actually can make like a stock from it and use it and make a shrimp soup or any kind of bisque or anything like that.
Oh, so like with beef or chicken, using the bones, which flavor stock, traditionally you'd use the shells of the shrimp, and that would create your stock. Do you do that at home?
Yes, I use shrimp and also lobster. You can use the shells from the lobster and shells from the shrimp. Excuse me.
Sure. The other thing too, and if you are interested in doing that, and you have prepared a lot of shrimp, you can freeze the shells.
Oh, good.
And keep them until you're ready to create a stock. If you're overwhelmed at the moment with the dish that you're creating, those are looking pretty close to done.
You want to taste that one?
Oh yeah, let me taste that.
It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. See if it needs a little more salt. Salt?
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to plate this up. And then we're going to serve it. We've got some special people we want to introduce you guys to. Nancy, some of the other people, and then we're going to eat. So we'll be right back to you.
Stay with us.
Stay with us. Okay, here we are. We're going to all try the New Orleans style. Okay, hit it, folks. Okay, these are friends. You met Lana, Jim. This is my daughter Shayna down here, and her friend Kim, and Krista, and Marie, my sister Debbie, my husband Clem. Now they're going to give you an honest opinion. That's if they ever want to eat again in my house, aren't you?
We invited you back to cook a second day over here, so that ought to tell everybody something.
Okay, so the other thing is go ahead, guys, try them.
I'm using my fingers.
Okay, he's using his fingers. She's umming and on. Good? Okay.
Delicious. Very nice.
So Judy, I have a question. What would you serve with this?
Okay, this is what I serve with it. I serve potatoes. Red potatoes I boil, and then I cut in cubes, and I toss it in with the shrimp when they're done, and then I take fresh corn and I cut it into pinwheels and cook it first, and then chop it into the like pinwheels and toss it in. So you get sort of like a New Orleans style Gilroy garlic, you know,
Frogmore stew, California style.
Yeah, you know, like the shrimp boils and stuff they do back east. So anyway, I just want to say this. I want to tell you thank you for being with us today. I want you to all to come out to the Garlic Festival. Either come out and eat or come out and volunteer. Come out and have dinner. You can take things home. You know, it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Thank you for being with us today, and we hope to see you real soon.